Okay. Then I'll say everybody on Facebook, hey, we're doing this thing. And I guess on
Yay!
Twitter I should do it too, huh? Uh,
I
so,
will
introduce.
retweet slash repost.
All right, hi everybody. This is Professional Goblins podcast. We're doing a mini episode today because Scott is not with us, as you can see
Alas.
by our fucked up resolution in the video.
Poor
But so,
Scott. I knew him.
yeah, he's being held hostage by magicians in New York City, which
It's
is
it's a very strange situation. It looks like there's demolition. I'm not sure what's going on.
yeah. He's I don't know. They're having him do everything. I think, and I don't know. Magicians are tricky, not to be trusted. I think he said
It's
he
true.
did get his first paycheck though, so
Well, that's a good start.
yes, I agree. But we are here, and yeah, we'll do the show, or as it were, something similar to it. We do.
I feel like if it weren't for copyright, we should cue "The Show Must Go On" in the background.
Is there an actual song for the show must go on?
Queen did one. I think it's just called "The Show Must Go On."
The show must go
It's
on, and
very
they just scream the show must go on the whole time, right?
Mostly, there's things about how my heart may be breaking and my makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. But
Okay.
mostly, yes, they just scream the show must go on.
I remember going through old Queen stuff because I was like, bicycle. This is an amazing fucking song. Why doesn't everybody know this song? But
It's true.
yeah, show
I'm
must go
going
on. It's great.
slightly mad as my favorite underappreciated queens.
All right, well, cool. Yay for Queen. Uh,
Yay!
we do a formatted show normally. We'll probably retain some kind of format today, but generally it goes talking about characters, our reviews. We don't have anything to review today. Characters that we really were taught something by or that stuck out in our minds. Then favorite working projects, favorite new projects that we're not working on that somebody else did. Pathfinder, Starfinder news and speculation, D&D 5e news and speculation, other RPG news, other media of interest, Kickstarters, and then free discussion, which is normally something we reserve for guests, but like I said, we're doing a mini episode today. So,
Yes.
first off, favorite characters in games we're currently in. Okay.
I'm finally in a 5e game, so I can talk about them.
All right, you
It's
start
great.
off. Yeah,
Yeah. So first off, have I mentioned Sempronius Dia yet? I may have mentioned him.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar.
So I blatantly ripped off when we had Wendell on. He talked about who was it? So and so the Redeemed or something. Who he killed somebody, but the reconditioning didn't take.
Oh, his Ooze character in the Book of Exalted Darkness game. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So Sempronius would fit great into a Book of Exalted Darkness game. He's basically experiencing that, just not in that setting. He went into the very respectable family business of devil worship, just like his parents. And, he was about level 10, had a nice cult going. Everything was going fine. And, the minute that you try and, sacrifice an orphanage to Asmodeus, that's when the paladins kick down the door and come stomping in.
Fucking paladins.
I know, right? And so, in the midst of everything, instead of being killed, Sempronius was cursed by Bahamut. Or Bahamut? Yes, Bahamut.
Yes.
The
good
paladin,
dragon god.
platinum dragon god. He was cursed by the platinum dragon to not be able to do evil actions.
Oh.
And he was essentially knocked down to like level 3. He's a warlock. He lost his patron. He's very pissed at the world. And he constantly has to follow around this half-orc, like naive, happy-go-lucky paladin, and he hates it, and he hates the world, and he just wants to make everyone as miserable as he is.
So you're playing like like Black Mage, but with a collar.
Yeah, basically. And he's real pissed because his patron is the Celestial now, instead of the Fiend. And so now he heals people instead of, feeding off of the death of his enemies, and nothing works right. And it's all icky.
All right. How long is only one session in, or a couple, or?
Only one session, but we've done a lot. Like our session 0 was very expansive.
Cool.
So yeah, it's an interesting group because everyone's kind of at Cold War with everyone else. Except for the crybaby cleric and the very oblivious bard.
Cool.
Yep.
Doing...
So Sempronius is quietly trying to like corrupt everyone or get them killed, something like that. And he's my only character who changed alignment from lawful. I'm very proud of him. He would be neutral evil if he were allowed to be evil.
Right.
So he's neutral bitchy right now.
Try to do evil through indirect actions.
Basically, his dream is to find someone that he can groom to do that, and then while he tries to figure out how to break this curse, the best option would be for the paladin to become an anti-paladin, and that would just be great.
That sounds very promising.
Indeed, very exciting. So more on that as it develops.
Let me see. I got into a lot of games in the past month. I got to try Starfinder a little bit with Cosmo. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did a session 0 for Escape from Cleveland 2099, which has a lot of promise. It's a lot of promise.
Awesome.
I think I'm going to talk about the Turbine Wings game because I was up in New York and I was hanging out with my friend Benji, and he started to play D&D, and his friend joined us and stuff. And Tim was there, but he went to a tequila bar beforehand, so he was not really there.
Gotcha.
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he raved about the tacos. I was like, okay, Tim, go to bed. Anyway, he was fine to go out to the bar after that, but yeah, he took a nap while we were playing. But Jillian and Benji were way into it. I just gave him like pre-generated characters, and like this, Jillian is this Scottish woman who I guess is also a brain scientist or something. And yeah, she talked about it a little bit. She does mostly data stuff for them. But anyway, she was playing a steam medic, and Benji was playing a peon, and this is in Mists of Akuma, which is, the steampunk, Eastern fantasy noir steampunk campaign setting. And they decided that they were going to like get across the veil, and that was their whole adventure was going to be breaking across the veil.
Sounds like a good time.
Well, I mean, we'll see. So, for those who do not have Mists of Akuma, it's Soberin is a continent surrounded by oceans that just drop off like to nowhere. Nobody's really certain where they go. Nobody's come back from down there. And then across a ways from that waterfall, the endless waterfall, is this thing called the Great Divide, this huge energy barrier that just destroys most stuff that flies through it. It negates magic, so forget that. And they're really intent on crossing it. And then we played for like, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 hours. And like, I'd never seen a robot be so like sexually inclined before in my entire life.
Okay.
Like that was her tactic with pretty much everybody until I finally found an NPC that was like creepy enough that she was not going to try to hit on him. But yeah, at one point they went on a date with she went on a date with like a turbine engineer that they were trying to schmooze up. And yeah, it was all very awkward. But surprisingly easily done by the Steamatic rogue because she had some deception going on. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens to 2B in the days to come. We should be playing sometime this month. I think we said every third Sunday or so. So,
do they have a related model called Not 2B?
No, they were all named by the Canadians, so they are all like numbers, like just spelled funny. Yeah.
Remind me to tell the Canadian that he missed out on a great pun, and I'm disappointed.
We could talk about that. Maybe we could include a not to be steamatic in an adventure to come.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So, favorite working projects that are ours. Golly.
Yeah, Revenge of the Pale Master.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, that was cool. That's out in... Oh, did he release it in print yet? I don't know if he did, but it should be out in print soon. And it's all color in print with extra maps and stuff, because I had to make them for Roll20. And then there's a shitload of Miss Fukuma on Roll20. But I think I want to talk about Nazi Smasher, although I don't profit from Nazi Smasher. So maybe I'll talk about that next time, on the next one. So let's talk about Book of Exalted Darkness, because I finally got my footing. So
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, dude,
Same.
I was in that goddamn continents chapter forever, but it's finally done, and it's like almost the size of a novel. But yeah,
Woo!
yeah. Last night I went and I organized everything, and like I didn't realize it, but having those little word progress brackets on the top of the document makes a huge difference in my brain for like
Word
motivation
progress
purposes.
brackets?
Yeah, like if you look at the file titles for all the old projects and this new one because I just added them last night, they used to include little brackets saying like this many words out of this many words are done, you know.
Ah.
And I didn't realize how much of having that like constant milestone there was like a motivation for me to write stuff. But yeah, I got to remember to be doing that shit from now on.
There we
But
go.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. All the art's done except for one piece that's like half done and will be done within the next couple of days. And now I'm just going through and filling in the blanks and looking over the stuff you guys wrote, which is mostly good from what I've seen so far. And
Fair enough. Bard is on the agenda for tonight. Me and Arbor Mist are going to sit down and do some Bard stuff.
cool.
You know I'm classy because I drink Arbor Mist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to do some
Obviously.
more map work too on the main map. Although I think Somovia is mostly done, and that was the hardest one because it had so many goddamn trees. But
Clearly, we should just do desert terrain from here on out. No
Zach
trees.
Thumbo has a lot of desert, fortunately.
Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. No,
Have you gotten a chance to look at the vial spells yet?
no. I'm going sequentially. So next is the Spheres of Ascus, actually. Because
Legit.
yeah,
Legit.
like I filled in a lot of the
S-
gaps for like actually explained how the government works in the second chapter now, and like I wrote down how the clergy works too, and how they interact with the government, and how like some clergy members have more information about how the religion works than actual higher authorities, because your
Okay.
pain doesn't like you can be a bishop of the second pain and be under an archbishop of the first pain. So like the guy of the second pain would know about the full expanse of what the ministerium in Morte, the silent knights are, right? Like he knows everything about them, he knows how they work, he knows how they're made. But the archbishop that he works under doesn't know all that because he has not reached that part of the pain yet. So like yeah. Yeah.
Politics.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of like just little things that I don't know. I really like filling in on all the little gaps and like oh god. Yeah. I don't know. Now I got to
This is definitely one of the more comprehensive projects I think we've done.
Oh, for sure. Jesus, I've been in the weeds so long over there. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess I do know. It's gonna be fucking dope. But yeah, I gotta go name something like 100 mountains and rivers and lakes and bays and
Oh, dude, love yourself a little bit. They don't
yeah.
all have to have names.
No, I wrote names into the copy. I need to. Well, I didn't write names. I wrote XXX, so I know to come back and give it a name. And then there's notes for places on where I'd put them in the map and everything. But like, no, they need names.
Oof.
Otherwise, it
Mm,
won't feel right. So
mm,
it's okay. It'll be worth
mm,
it. It'll be worth it. And I'm
mm.
pretty positive I'll be back into layout mode before the end of this month, which is super important.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, no, since the 5e game that I'm in is Curse of Strahd,
Ah.
I was talking to the GM and I had, mentioned in passing to my group, I'm like, yeah, I feel really like in the mood for Sempronius because I'm working on all these terrible, horrific things. And so the GM's like, so when that comes out, I suppose you could fill me in on some of these vile spells for, all these completely innocent people you're going to find in Ravenloft.
Show them the Dark Madness rules, because like I
Ooh.
specifically designed those after playing Conan D20, because it
Mm.
just the dice. I was terrified to roll the dice, just the way the game works there, and so I transported part of that to the Dark Madness rules. And I specifically was thinking of when I was playing D&D Ravenloft, because like there was no sense of fear when we were playing it, because we weren't playing it right. But if we had been like using that Dark Madness shit and the cursed condition specifically, where you stack your
Mhm.
natural ones from advantage disadvantage, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that was
Oh.
yeah, that was what killed me about
Horrifying?
Conan. Yeah, it was like every time you roll two dice at the same time, if you roll this particular number, it gives you the GM like a fuck you card, and yeah, it makes you afraid to use advantage or disadvantage, which
Yes.
would be like a proper fear game, right? Where you're afraid to use your resources because they're limited and they can come back and bite you. And like, yeah, I know.
To be honest, we didn't need any help being afraid in
Oh, yeah?
our Curse of Strahd game. Our first encounter was 8 dire wolves, and they kicked our ass. Like, whoa. I'm actually running 2 characters, so Sempronius set that one out, and my paladin was the only person who like wasn't knocked down to 0 hit points at some point in the fight. Like, bad news. So it can only go up from here, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I talked about Habib at any point, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes,
Any,
I would like to earmark talking about the Conan RPG for next time because
no.
I have absorbed so much Conan stories in the past month
All right.
that I want to critique it.
Well, Habib was my Ravenloft character, but yeah, we can definitely talk more Conan. I mean, like there were parts of the system that were better and parts of it that were worse. But yeah, sure. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, what was your favorite working project? Is it also
yeah, it's basically the Book of Exalted Darkness.
finished all the vile spells? Did
Yay!
James jump in and write some, or no? I know he was
We
supposed
were
to contact
talking
you.
back and forth, and I'm like, well, we do have quite a few. Honestly, I don't know if the 500 words could be used better elsewhere. But we have established contact, which is
Okay.
nice.
All right. So I didn't know if I will email him before I get up to it. It'll take me a while to catch up to that. What chapter is that?
Yeah.
Will it take me? Yeah, it will. Yeah, because I have to name everything and do map stuff before then. All right. Okay. So favorite project that is not ours, or rather, more specifically, we can't profit from. So I'm going to talk about Nazi Smasher because nobody profits from Nazi Smasher except for the Southern Poverty Law Center and Black Lives Matter. You can check out Nazi Smasher, which is a World War II adventure set in Hypercore 29 in a universe. You play superheroes that raid like the last Nazi outpost. There are character pawns in the back for the pre-generated PCs and for all the enemies. And there are sheets you can tear out for the pre-generated characters. And there's a ton of awesome, like all of this is original illustrations. Everybody who worked on it did so without payment because we are just very upset about Nazis. And if you are also upset about Nazis, please go grab it. You can get it in print, in PDF, or as a Roll20 module via www.operationnazismasher.com. And yeah, the cover was done by Claudia Pozis, which is just fantastic. It's the Crown of Liberty smashing Hitler in the face with her fist.
Yes.
She gets giant-sized, a la the like Aztec warrior of Super Friends.
Ooh,
Yes, that was fun.
I like it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Claudia, what does this character do? And he was like, well, I mean, like, she has lights. She's got a power over lights, and she's super strong, and she's like a boxer. And I was like, okay, Steve, this is what Claudio told us. Here's what I'm gonna write for it. And like, I just gave her like what is it? Righteous Might was one of her abilities that she can activate. And I think she's just like brawler levels. And then
There we go.
Meganaut. No, I'm sorry. Oh, she's a fighter, unarmed fighter monk. Meganaut parallel.
Oh,
Yeah, I try to keep some of the characters more simple so people who are not necessarily super familiar with Pathfinder can still play it. It's really meant for people who are moderate to expert Pathfinder players because it's if you don't use the hyperscore system, which is also included here, by the way, all the rules to make superhero characters, and you want to make your own characters, whatever. I think it's 15th or 16th level equivalent. So it's 16th level. So it's definitely high level stuff. So not meant for beginners, but try to make it accessible.
yeah.
And yeah, it's dope. I wonder how many. I wonder if we. Yeah.
Let's see. So mine was the Chaosium release of the Sandy Peterson anthology. And it's modern Call of Cthulhu, kind of a bit of a sci-fi feel, I think.
All right.
Let's see. They have Panacea, which is a totally legit clinical trial, human clinical trial. Hotel Hell, which is, my particular favorite, to no one's surprise. But yeah, so I just wrapped up a Call of Cthulhu campaign and really want to get into still more of that. So that would be my recommendation is picking up this Mamma Jamma.
All right. Yeah, it looks cool. Here is a link for the people in the chat room. We see you, people. We see you. All right. And then Scott was gonna talk about something. Oh, I'll talk about this too, because this is what we're talking about. PC Gen, the PC generator, which is like a free version of an automated character generator to speed up making characters and stuff. Has
Yes.
Starfinder rules out, so check it out. It is freeware, and will
Yay,
cost you
freeware.
nothing but a couple of minutes to evaluate. Okay, Pathfinder, Starfinder news and speculation. I have some news, but I'm not allowed to really reveal what I know. I just know that they filled one of their hires. So congratulations to that person and to Paizo. You have made a great selection. It's not me, just so we're totally clear. Not going to Seattle. Not this guy. I just know it is, and it's good deal for everybody. Other than that,
So the real news is neener, neener, neener. We know what you don't.
yeah. I feel like there's probably other Pathfinder and Starfinder stuff that has happened in the month of November, but I have just been busy traveling for half of that and buried into books for the other half.
That sounds about right. Nothing's passed over my dash, but that's not really my specific wheelhouse.
Starfinder, that's not new. They're doing another 24-hour Extra Life charity Twitch marathon. So that's cool.
Oh, there we go.
Did that already happen? Oh, it did. It happened on November 4th.
Oh.
So congratulations to them for that, and I suck for not knowing stuff. I still haven't read any more Starfinder. I got to play that a little bit with Cosmo, but like he told me, oh, we're starting 15 minutes after the dealer's room opens at PAX Unplugged because I was in there working for Sirenscape, which was awesome, by the way. The Sirenscape booth is like the best booth to work in ever. No fucking contest. Just like so easy to be in that booth. But and like I just did a pirate jig the whole time, you know. It's like they've got all the sounds there, and like it's easier to move around for 8 hours and stand there. Anyway, I'm babbling.
So just out of curiosity, for our Pinky Promise Starfinder review, which bits are we going to go over for next time?
I don't know. The chapter after classes, because I still haven't read any more.
Skills. Looks like skills. Skills and feats.
I'm playing tomorrow for a couple of hours, actually.
Fantastic.
From noon to 5 p.m. EST for anyone who is interested in joining us. So I'll get some more taste. But yeah, I got to do a little bit with Cosmo for like half an hour, and we got up to combat, and then like the table needed to be swapped. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
So close. It's so far.
So close. I like the Isoki race. I like the idea of being able to fit a cubic foot of material in each like mouth cheek. So I just like rolled around with bubble gum all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's adorable or gross.
Oh, it's super gross. And he used it in super gross ways.
You.
Yeah. All right. D&D 5e news and speculation. Xanathar's Guide came out. Haven't seen it yet. I read about their samurai a little bit, and I still think our samurai is better. So, but theirs is a fighter and ours is a paladin because I have foresight. And I don't think they had a Wujen in there. I don't know. I didn't look. I didn't see. I haven't read the book yet. Any other 5e new stuff? They're looking for a designer, I think. Although I think applications are closed.
Yeah, I know that they were.
Yeah. Neverwinter Nights 2 Neverwinter Nights. They're redoing Neverwinter Nights for the computer.
Cool.
Which is great. I played the shit out of the Neverwinter Nights games. They were really fucking good. And I will almost certainly be picking up the remastered edition.
Do you think you could justify like taking that off on your taxes? It's sort of like
I mean, like you, as an expense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it's specifically a Pathfinder or D&D product, you could probably take that off on your expenses. It depends on how you do your expenses, and if you have an accountant. Some accountants will claim your flashlight as a dependent. So
I see.
Yeah, I know.
See, I feel like through that reasoning, I should be able to claim my fish as a dependent.
Oh yeah, I have a service animal. He helps me deal with my stress. His name's Felix.
You finally got the process through on that one.
I bet you I could. I bet you I could. But
See,
no.
Pelly's fancy. She has a letter and everything.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no. I adopted
Really, it's
Felix.
just for security of okay, you can't evict me because I have a bird because
She's a
she's a
bird.
emotional support bird.
Get away from me, you bastards. Leave me and my pet alone.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Just me waving an envelope at them. Shoot. I mean, hey, I put up with my downstairs neighbors playing like the ukulele at 11 o'clock at night, and they put up with the bird screaming sometimes. It's give and take.
Ukuleles. I'm so glad I
I
don't
think it was a
stick them
ukulele. It was
anymore.
something acoustic sounding. I couldn't tell you. I didn't mind it.
Alright. We got any other cool news for
Let's see.
Swiftly
Didn't we already
Finding?
talk about No Country for Great Old Ones?
Yeah, that closed. They closed that down, and In Transmission Games shut their doors.
Yeah. Is that something that you can talk about, or?
Um, I don't think they'd like it if I did. I know just a little bit from what
That's
Hayes
fine.
told me.
Whatever you are comfortable with.
But yeah, it had to do with stuff that was not totally business related. Put it that way. But yeah,
Okay.
that's too bad. Um, it was really weird too, because like it would have been super awkward if they had gone to PAX, because Sirenscape was catty corner to their booth. So,
Oh.
and and like they wanted me to come work their booth for PAX. So like they would have been like right. Yeah, it would have been really weird.
Oh, phone. Cease your talking.
You have an appointment, Savannah.
I do. I'm getting a blood draw. It's very exciting.
All right. Other RPG news. Um, Warhammer Fantasy Role Playing Fourth Edition is on the way. Wrath and Glory is on the way. There've been like little snippets and previews for each. Let me see. I guess. Oh, Flash. Oh, that's Kickstarter. We can talk about that a little bit. Um, hmm. Wrath and,
Changing the Lost, second edition.
which one? What about Lost? Second edition?
Changeling the Lost.
Oh, what about it?
It's in Kickstarter right now.
Oh no, we'll do Kickstarters in a bit.
Oh, I thought we were talking about that.
No, no.
Never mind.
I was gonna say Wrath and Glory is the new Warhammer 40k one, and like
Ah.
they're using six-sided dice, which is traditional for Warhammer 40k of all things, and then they're also incorporating this a narrative like advantage disadvantage result die, sort of like Fate or Edge of the Empire, and I'm
Ooh.
skeptical of it because like yeah, I hate those things. But yeah, I don't know.
Fair. Well, hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I asked for specifics, and then they kind of got touchy with me. So like we'll see. I have high hopes though.
Okay.
Yeah. Other RPG stuff. I don't know. I've been out of the loop.
Yeah. Well, I feel like personally that this is it feels like a hibernation period. The holidays always slow everything down.
Yeah, everybody gets their shit organized in the summer, and you get to work, and then come out in the spring.
Yep.
So
It's like the great circle of life, but publishing.
the great oval of life.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Much more evocative phrase.
Other media of interest. Other media of interest.
I feel like Scott is our big media guy.
He is. He really is. Well, I don't know. Did you see the new Thor or Justice League yet?
No. All I've heard is that Justice League is fabulous if you aesthetically appreciate both guys and ladies.
Uh,
And also that the movie dropped the ball when it came to Wonder Woman not leading the team. That is what I.
Yeah, it had a lot of failings. I don't know. It just somebody did a good patch job on it, and you can tell.
Mm.
That's what it feels like.
Because apparently, like, Batman was sort of running the place because he called everybody together, but Wonder Woman's at some point is like, well, I should really be leading. I was too distracted. I'm sorry. but then she doesn't like do the thing, which seems
And they fight and get
okay.
catty over her like loving Trent, whatever the fuck his name is, in 1950.
Ugh,
Yeah, no,
that,
like I said,
that seems like a weird callback.
it feels like you're in a car that has been seen a lot of repairs, and it's a safe enough car, and it'll get you where you're going. It'll hit the speed limit, but like you can tell you're in the car that like there's that wasn't
Like it
supposed
makes some
originally there.
worrisome noises.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like way more bumpiness, and suspension's isn't as good as it should be, and the brakes are kind of touchy.
Right.
Like that's what it feels like when you're watching the whole movie. It's not bad, but like I said, yeah, you can tell there's all
Right.
these
And
fixes.
the change to the Amazon armor, not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see it again when it's on the Netflix or whatever. But and Thor Ragnarok was a little bit better, but also I think I think Tondro or Dave Domlin was talking about it, and they put it best. I think it was Dave. He was like, Thor. It's like they completely forgot they did the second Thor movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. They did
Oh
all this setup in
no.
the second one, and like thinking back on it, I'm thinking like, well, when was there any reference of it at all? Yeah, I guess there was that scene in the very beginning where, but that's not really about that. It's more about him finding Loki, and yeah, no, they just kind of completely forgot they did that whole thing. Like,
Did they address the absence of oh gosh, was it Natalie Portman? Was his love interest?
briefly, yes, they do reference it a couple times, and it's like, oh, sorry, she dumped you, man. And she's like, no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all.
It definitely wasn't like that. What are you talking?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
The
but yeah,
actress did not cut her ties to this franchise and run away screaming.
it was better than Justice League, I'd say, but it wasn't like a huge leap in quality or anything.
I heard that it was a fun 80s vibe
Oh,
sort of thing.
you want to talk about 80s vibe? So I got to see Blade Runner 2049 finally.
Yeah.
And I'm a Blade Runner junkie, so everyone just bear with me here. Um, Aesthetically and like in terms of audio and mise en scène and like musical score and performances and dialogue, all of these things were very, very, very good. Have you seen it yet?
Mm-mm. I like
Mm.
spoilers. Like, you're not gonna bother me.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil this for everybody. The crux of the whole thing is that Deckard and Rachel, Rachel from the first one, have a baby. That's the crux of the whole fucking plot. Okay?
Yeah?
And what kills me here is that they never ever try to do any kind of suspension of disbelief or definition for what really makes up a fucking replicant. Like I was under the impression from the original Blade Runner that it was sort of like a slightly better version of a Terminator, you know?
Right.
And like that you could tell they had fake bones, but they generally look like bones if you pulled them out. And because like the physics of how all that works when one of them just like straight up tosses Harrison Ford like 50 feet, right? Like there's certain scientific principles I expect to be held true here, and there are
Right.
limitations to what even a genetically superiorly perfect human being could do, right? So
Mhm.
I have always had this thing in my head, like, okay, well, they're mostly just like robots with like better parts, and what they try to present is that they're like perfectedly genetically engineered humans, and like they'd make one very small nod to this ridiculous fucking hole in the plot by having like a blackout period where after the events of the first Blade Runner movie, like all the electronics go down, there's a huge replicant witch hunt, blah 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 blah. You know, nobody has any records from between here and here unless they're made out of paper. So there's a digital
Who
blackout
has time?
period. Yeah, like I was okay with that. That's fine. That's very cyberpunky. That's cool. But like the massive fucking plot hole, and like
My son.
yeah, yeah. I was just yeah. So I mean, go see it if you haven't yet, and or if you're a Blade Runner fan or a sci-fi fan, totally go see it. It's worth watching. I'm glad I saw it. It's just oh god, I could oh.
So moving on from that.
Like there's so many other ways you can tell humanistic stories. Like you didn't need to use this terrible fucking thing. You could have done something cohesive, you dumb bastards. Um,
But yeah, the only piece of media that I've consumed was the Kevin Sorbo Cull the Conqueror movie, which
that's an
of course
excellent
is
movie.
not in a way recent and
No,
or quality.
no,
So that's my
no.
excitement.
It's a solid flick though. I might have to watch that again.
It sort of annoyed me because they did in the same way that the Conan movies did. They just kind of mashed things from different stories in there. And,
Feels like a bunch of people in the '80s had a lot of cocaine and money and cameras.
yes, and
Yeah,
it's like, well, we don't have the rights to Conan, but we totally can, riff off and get, Kull the Conqueror, and ignoring the fact that he was Kull of Atlantis, and I'll stop painting it.
yeah.
I have many feelings. They can wait until next week.
Let me see. Did I talk about the Wolfenstein game yet?
I don't remember.
Oh, I bought it and I beat the shit out of it, and then I bought the season pass for it. It was really good. The new one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen the first section played, like where you detach your U-boat
Oh, and you go
from the
around the
Hello
wheelchair
whatever
and
it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was
Uh,
excellent.
yeah, as someone who was not familiar at all with the Nazi, or I was almost said Nazi Smasher, adjacent, with the Wolfenstein canon or games or anything, I appreciated that there were several ladies and that most of them weren't conventionally attractive. And that your pregnant love interest was not rendered helpless by her pregnancy.
No, she's a badass. She does a lot of badass shit
Um,
in that fucking game.
yeah, and that it sucked that spoiler alert, it sucked that Carolyn died. But I appreciate that BJ didn't just get better and be able to walk, like he's in the suit.
The writing in that game is phenomenal. I
Yeah, and no bones about it. Engel, she is
oh evil.
she is the whole package of things you want to hate.
Yeah, and I mean like there were multiple times in the game where I was like, oh fuck, this is the end of the game. Well shit. Okay, I mean I guess I'll smoke a cigarette, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's not the end of the game. What? What? For like
Right.
5 minutes, like oh, it's really
And the
good.
addition, gameplay wise, the fact that as you're wheeling around in the first part, and you're shooting your I don't even remember what kind of gun it was. You're shooting a gun that should be used with two hands, with one hand while wheeling around a U-boat.
It gets
And the
ridiculous.
fact that the controls were kind of wonky at that part was really nice.
Later on, you get to choose, and then after you beat the game, get the other ones. But like, there are three choices you can pick to get like some kind of shoulder harness that lets you just like ram into people and knock them down, or
Ooh.
stilt legs,
Oh.
or what's the other one? Oh, a compressor thingy, so you can like become really thin and crawl through drain pipes and shit. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the bonus of stilt legs?
You get there's like tied in bonuses where you get like adrenaline boosts and stuff from shooting people while you're on the stilt legs, but it mostly gives you access to different areas of the game. So like stilt leg gets higher platforms, drain pipes it's obvious, and then for the shoulder one you like can charge through grills and things of that nature.
Kind of like with the stomp.
Yeah, but it tries to. So basically, if you're a sniper dude, you want to have the stilts, and if you're like me and you just like charging like a maniac, you want to have the body harness. And then if you're the
Right.
sneaky guy, you want to have the compressor suit.
There we go. I,
Yeah.
I appreciate the acknowledgement of different playstyles.
Yeah, we know the stream is off. I'm sorry. But you can see the tops of our heads, and arguably that's the best part of my head. So,
I mean, it's the most colorful part of my head. So.
yeah. We'll be back to normal next week. I just couldn't figure out the settings in time for today. Sorry, I suck. But yeah, no, I normally don't buy stuff at full price like video games at full price anymore these days either. But it was worth it for Wolfenstein. It was definitely worth
Cool.
it. Yeah, and Fallout New Vegas sucked a decent amount of life away from me for a while there because I've played it and beaten it on the Xbox a couple of times, and then I got my computer upgraded because I had to because it was going to die, and I can run older games with tons of fucking mods. So I've been running Fallout New Vegas with like 60 mods. I'm like cruising around the wasteland in a fucking motorcycle, and I have a Deathclaw. Like I got an egg,
Oh.
and then it was a little
Oh.
baby Deathclaw, and then I fed it like 50 portions of meat, and now it's a full size Deathclaw named Santa Claus. Like, yeah, it's a whole
Is
new
that
game.
a thing you get to name it, or was that just built
That
in?
was built into. There were a couple of. There's like 30 options that you could get, and I think one
See,
of them
Canadian
was
Mike, people who do puns right. Damn
right.
it.
And yeah, I haven't even touched the main quest, and I'm on level 27. I don't know, but yeah, the
That
Fallout New
sounds about
Vegas
how
is
Sandra.
fucking totally amazing. Definitely get it if you haven't. It'll be on sale again soon for $10. I'm sure. That's what I got it for.
My laptop would not be able to handle that on an acceptable setting. So
Ah.
everybody else have fun.
That's how I was playing Fallout 4 for a while, and I still can't do Fallout 4 on the full settings, but
Sad day.
yeah, eventually someday. Other media of interest. Dude, did you see the CW TV series crossover?
I do not know what you're talking about. Please enlighten
Like
me.
the Arrow, the Flash, Supergirl, and
Oh, I heard about that. Where
It
like
was
Supergirl,
fucking
like
great.
it was an alternate reality,
See,
and like
Supergirl is
Supergirl
in
was
an
the
alternate
Fuhrer?
reality, and okay, so here's the Supergirl continuity, here's the Arrow Flash continuity, and then like jumping around is the DC Legends of Tomorrow continuity. Okay, and because they travel through time, right? So anyway, those three are kind of separate from Supergirl, and they occasionally interlace. But there's this whole nother reality because it's the DC universe, and they have 52 or universe, I guess 53 now. They changed it a little bit, but there was a big run in DC Comics called 52 that happened about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago that changed a whole bunch of stuff. Killed off the Question, changed it into Renee Montoya, which is pretty awesome because she was like the lesbian cop in Gotham. I don't know if you're the Latino lady. She used to be on the animated series.
Not familiar.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I really like that. And then they switch it off to some other asshole. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm getting beside myself. So, one of these continuities, the Nazis win. And Supergirl is like one of the super Nazis. And like Oliver Queen from Arrow, the Green Arrow, is like the new Hitler. And so on and so forth. And the crossover was all about them fighting these Nazis in all 4 of the episodes. So it ends up being like an hour and a half worth. A small movie of DC superheroes fighting Nazis.
There we go.
Yeah, it was fucking excellent.
Much Nazi puncher.
And I was pretty done with most of those shows because the writing was getting wary, very, very wary. And I don't know, that completely revived. I'm so sold on watching them again. Very good. The last one for Legends of Tomorrow, I don't want to ruin it. I think you will particularly love it. The one dude gets transported back in time after he gets essentially a Tickle Me Elmo, and then a Viking group finds him and begin to worship Tickle Me Elmo. So they really followed up with a very strong swing, and it fucking is excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I really hope they revisit that at some point. Like they just happen to see some archaeologists talking about this strange phenomenon.
Well, it's an anachronism and like one of the show hoax, but like yeah, for the episode, it's all like they talk about Bebo Day, which is Christmas now, and so on.
I like it.
And yeah, Lord of Kane. A lot of the Flash episodes do feel super samey, because they're constantly going back to do the same plot over and over. That's not fair. They've only done that like 2.5 times, but yeah. Yeah, no, they were feeling stale. It was a good shot in the arm. The last Flash episode was kind of... Did anything of significance or cool happen? Sort of. There was a very small amount of character development, and we got to see the show's like headline super villain for the season like really get defined. But yeah, they're gonna have a hard time topping that Nazi fighting stuff. That was fucking killer. All right. Anyway. I think that should cover it, and we can get to Kickstarters.
Cool.
So now, the Changeling is, a Kickstarter, and then Widow's Tear, and then we got Flash. So, yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I'm not intimately familiar with what's all going to be in the new Changeling stuff, but our previous guest, Jacqueline Bierk, was one of the writers, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Changeling stuff. All right.
Oof.
Oh, and they're way super funded. Goddamn. Good for them.
Yeah. No, they're doing fine, but if you're interested, toss some money their way.
All right, what we got here? The Widow's Tear. Oh, Cosmic Horror. Oh, funding canceled. Oh, I guess this was added by somebody a while ago. Oh, okay, I see. This is the Metal Games guy. All right. Yeah, I remember seeing that get off the ground. And I was like, ooh, no, that's not gonna go. That's not in good territory. Flash Gordon though, I think is already done. Oh my god.
I saw that.
Okay, so they get over almost $110,000 for Flash Gordon. Wow, I would have expected a little bit more. But I mean, that's
Honestly,
awesome.
I was surprised it got to that point. but,
Really? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you serious? Flash Gordon was one of the most popular movies of the '80s.
Apparently, I underestimated it. I'm just
Oh.
saying, I don't think the Conan RPG would have made that much of an explosion.
Oh no, I think Conan did more. Buck Rogers, I would think, would not do as well.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, Flash Gordon had a movie, and more importantly, a movie involving Queen.
Yeah. Oh man, full circle.
Yeah, that is a full circle. Holy shit! Oh, I feel like we have
should
to.
we wrap it up while we're ahead?
Yeah, that's a
what
high
we're doing?
note. I don't know if we're ever. I don't think we've ever got to stop on a high note. We're doing it.
Well, there we go.
All right, everybody,
It was
thanks
nice seeing everybody.
for coming. We're happy to do a mini episode, and we'll be back on for a full episode hopefully next week, if Scott can escape the magicians of New York.
Wish him luck.
Yeah. Peace.